Good morning, everyone. We are moving right along to our feeding and eating disorders. Um, I think I think a lot of people have been saying they've been seeing some of these on the exam. I know for a fact I had some of these on my exam as well for the diagnosis of these. But your feeding and eating disorders are your pica, rumination, avoidant restrictive, anorexia, bulimia, and your binge eating disorder. Again, we are all things family therapy, not just for the exam, but also when you are working with your clients so that you can give them the best support and help that they need when it comes to certain disorders like this. Let's get started with pica disorder. I remember when I first started studying for this exam, I was like, what is that? What does that even mean? And it's just basically a person or any kid, teenager, I don't know, that's eating non-food substances over 1 month. I mean, dirt. What's another one? Oh my God, tissue. You know, some of that stuffing stuff that you can put inside of teddy bears and stuff. Maybe something along the lines of that. But it doesn't have any nutritions to it. It's not food. It's not meant to be eaten, but you eat it anyways. And there's list here. There's hair, string, wool, soil, chalk, talcum powder, paper, soap. I did not think about, but yes, it's also it's not appropriate for the age that they are, right? So keep that in mind. Like a baby could stick something in their mouth. They don't know, right? But a 7, 8, 15, 25-year-old, you shouldn't be eating soap. Like it's you're not getting like any nutritional value from eating soap, right? Oh my God, I just thought about something. There was this show, My Strange Addiction. Yeah, there was this lady, she ate soap on that show. I remember that. Okay, sorry, my mind just wandered. Okay, rumination disorder. This is kind of gross when, like, even studying for the exam, I'm just like, this is gross. This is just like you're regurgitating your food and you're eating it again. 1 month. I, I don't know how any else to explain it. You chew the food, you spit it back out, and then you re-eat it again. That's that's all I can say about the rumination disorder. It's kind of gross. So let's move on. All right, avoiding restrictive food intake disorder. I see people getting tripped up with this, and when it also comes to anorexia or nervosa. Avoiding restrictive food taking disorder, it must include something that the person is kind of like doesn't want to eat the food, refusing to eat the food because of sensory issues. They don't like how it feels. They don't like how it tastes or whatever. They're, I guess, quote unquote picky eaters when it comes to certain things, right? Yes, weight loss comes with it, but it's not the same as anorexia or nervosa. Okay? Also have there's deficiencies when it comes to certain things in your body and stuff. Your nutrition and stuff is declined. Sorry, they're still mowing the grass or whatever it is that they're doing, for the love of God. um Again, it cannot be better, for the love of God. It's so loud, and I have my window open because it's so nice outside today. Okay, should I stop? Should I wait? Like, I don't understand. Oh my God. But anyways, yes, avoiding restrictive food intake. Lack of interest in eating, food avoidance based on the sensory characteristics of food. It has nothing to do with them trying to lose weight or anything like that. It's just the texture of the food, the sensory issues that they have with it when it comes to eating it, they do not like, okay? That is your avoidant food intake disorder. Now, this is anorexia, right? Anorexia nervosa is the restriction of energy intake that is going to lead to a significantly low body weight. And when we say energy intake, I mean food, right? The person also has an intense fear of gaining weight or becoming fat. That is a difference between avoidant restrictive food intake disorder and anorexia nervosa. In avoidant restrictive food intake disorder, the person does not have that fear of gaining weight or becoming fat. But a person that is diagnosed with anorexia nervosa, they do. Okay? There are two different specifiers for anorexia nervosa. You have your restricting type, and then you also have your binge eating and purging type. With your restricting type, the individual does not engage in episodes of binge eating and purging, right? The weight loss that they are going to have is going to be through excessive dieting, fasting, and excessive exercise, right? So that's what they're going to be doing. They're going to be maybe restricting some of their calories that they have, but they're going to be excessive dieting, excessive exercising, and fasting in order to keep the weight off. Your binge eating and purging type, they engage in the episodes of binge eating or purging, right? So they're going to binge eat a lot of food, and then they're going to purge it, which means they're going to be doing what? Self-induced vomiting or using laxative or diuretics. That's the binge eating purging type. You will know if a question comes up about anorexia nervosa because they will most likely mention something about a BMI. Sometimes I see them mention BMI, or sometimes I see the words significantly low body weight. A BMI of 15 is extreme. 17 is mild, moderate is 16, severe is 15, and below 15 is extreme BMI. You will know when you see those kind of terms and stuff when it comes to a question like this on the exam, because you will look for some of those BMIs that you can see. Now, bulimia nervosa, okay? This is your reoccurring episodes of your binge eating, right? You're going to be eating like a lot of food in 2-hour periods. It's larger than what a normal individual should eat, right? And then they also feel as if they don't have any control over the eating, so they feel like they can't stop the eating or control how much they are eating in a 2-hour period. You also are going to have those compensatory behaviors. That is going to be the self-induced vomiting, using laxative, fasting, and excessive exercising, right? That's bulimia nervosa. Okay, now here we are. This is just your additional information for it, because there's also specific severity for each of these feeding and eating disorders. 1 to 3 episodes per week of your excessively eating within a 2-hour period, which is more than what you should be eating, and then you're engaging in the compensatory behaviors. Moderate 4 to 7, severe 8 to 13, extreme 14 or more episodes per week. A person that has bulimia nervosa doesn't typically really talk about like gaining weight or becoming fat or anything like that. Sometimes they are like at a certain weight, or they could be overweight. Okay. Your binge eating disorder. This is just mainly your recurrent episodes of binge eating. And again, the same thing. You're eating within a 2-hour frame period of an amount of food that is like a lot of food within a 2-hour period. You feel as though that you can't stop yourself from eating the food. And then the binge eating episodes must be associated with at least 3 of the following from that list. Rapidly eating more than normal. You are uncomfortably full. You're eating and you're not physically hungry. Eating alone because you don't want anybody to watch you eating. And then you often feel like depressed or guilty afterward. That is the difference between binge eating disorder, anorexia, and bulimia nervosa. At least once a week, right? At least once a week this has to occur. And it cannot be associated with any of the others, such as doing what? The purging, the fasting, and the excessive exercising, okay? Because then it means that it'll be another diagnosis. All right, that sums up our feeding and eating disorder. Please, I apologize for the noise in the background, but I hope each and every one of you do have a better understanding of the feeding and eating disorders. And if you have any questions, always feel free to leave me a comment, question, and leave me your concerns. If I have said anything that does not make sense or anything that you feel is wrong, please let me know so that I can correct the video, because I don't want to mislead anyone, and I don't want to give anyone any false information. Enjoy the rest of your day.